This machine runs constantly, and through it they are keeping in touch with all levels of the Earth consciousness. They see the combinations of thoughts that create overall patterns. They look at the overall patterns of different countries and know what the countries are going to do in relation to each other. I can see a panel with colors where you can push a button, put two countries together, and get the thought patterns of both countries and their relationship to each other. They can do this with individuals as well as with group thought patterns. This has been going on from the time Earth came into physical being. They work with the Earth as a part of an overall plan. They are working methodically on thought and energy levels. Monitoring the energy vibrations of the Earth is very important because negative energy patterns can affect energy systems through the universe. They're not able to make a conscious physical contact with the Earth that they would like to have until our overall thought patterns become less conflicting. If they can find any level on the Earth or can find any individual where there isn't great mental conflict, they are able to make direct contact. The contrast in thoughts, the friction created by the negative versus the positive poles of energy of the Earth consciousness, creates vibrations that affect them. Energy patterns in all physical universes affect everything else either directly or indirectly. It's an amazing kind of interaction of energies. So, if on the Earth there is one individual or one group of people who really concentrates on positive levels of communication without conflicting thoughts, which include such emotions as fear, anger, anxiety, and jealousy, these space beings are able to beam down. In other words, open levels of communications allow contact with them to take place. They are constantly looking for areas on the Earth where they can beam down with direct contact and communication. They have many ways of keeping a consciousness gauge on the Earth's constantly changing vibrations. They have a major concern for us because we are all part of the same energy patterns, but they don't feel they should interfere in our growth process. They do work to influence our growth in indirect ways. They have been in contact with more highly evolved individuals and have taken numerous people onto their ships over the centuries to monitor them, but conflicting energies are a constant concern. As I look at this box, I can see different waves coming out of the Earth, different colors coming up. The vibrations and colors are especially mixed over the populated city areas. There are dark waves that come in like static in these areas with many levels of human vibrations. They're trying to get through to certain groups and certain levels of consciousness. They want to help raise the consciousness of the Earth because it's all part of their task and their goal. It is also a great challenge to them. Vibrations from the Earth go out into all levels of the universe. Everything in the universe relates to everything else. If we destroy ourselves, this will affect them directly. The Earth also has its counterpart in another level of the universe, a positive counterpart. The Earth is of the slower negative vibrations. Its counterpart is of the higher vibratory level, which helps to keep us in balance. Extreme negativity can throw the whole universe off balance, and not just in our galaxy. It reverberates through all galaxies. So, besides our positive Earth counterpart, there are other energy systems helping to keep us in balance. I can see through the box that some of those from other planets who make contact with the Earth are not as highly evolved as the space beings I am with now. The beings I am with keep track of those from other planets of lower energy levels, who in turn are on a higher rate of vibration than the Earth. But those alien intruders don't have the same concern for our welfare as the beings I'm with. Our negative energy patterns often attract negative forces from outer space. It's the like attracts like principle. This concerns our alien friends, but they don't feel they should intervene unless it's absolutely necessary to do so. Those I am with have been conducting something like research on Earth for a long time. They have been observing us closely, just as parents would oversee the development of a child, trying to let it grow naturally on its own, but intervening when mature guidance and help are needed. They are quite a distance from us, actually, in another galaxy. They have special platforms where they keep their mother ships. They don't need to be too close to the Earth. They are also studying planets in other galaxies. It works almost the way we study minute life forms through a microscope. We are much more advanced than these lower biological forms, or so we think. But the fact that no conscious communication takes place between us doesn't mean that either one does not exist. We are more advanced than such microscopic creatures, and we study their life forms and energy systems, even though we do not consider them consciously evolved enough to be aware of our existence. So they go their merry way, do their own thing, and are seemingly not aware of us, just as we are not consciously aware of our concerned and interested brethren in outer space. These space brothers will not interfere with our growth patterns unless we reach the point of suicide or self-destruction. Then they would have to intervene, since from experience they know that when other planets have destroyed themselves, the destruction set up reverberating patterns of destructive energies throughout the galaxies. The energy forms from the planets that destroy themselves seek similar energy forms on other planets, and this disturbs the energy patterns of these planets, just like an earthbound spirit that attaches itself to a physical home. When these stray energies implant themselves in other energy forms, they create many types of problems. Another problem is that when death comes rapidly and traumatically to a planet, the inhabitants are frequently unaware that their physical forms have been destroyed. They are now in their etheric substance energies, but they experience this as they would their previous physical energy bodies. Thus, many energy forms from a destroyed planet can get caught in a time warp, thinking they still exist in their physical forms. It's as if, for example, the world is destroyed by an atomic war, but the deceased Earth residents go on living as if nothing had happened. This sets up even stranger and stronger energy reality patterns, and it takes longer for evolutionary growth to take place. It is like a rescue case on the Earth plane. Someone has died and doesn't realize it. The person gets locked into a time warp, and it takes a higher consciousness breakthrough to help release him or her from these emotionally charged energy cells. Thus it's like a ghost in our Earth system, a strong emotional energy form that keeps playing out its final scenario. When you have a planetary ghost floating through the physical galaxies, replaying its scenario on a different vibration, it poses a problem to all concerned. Ram asks them if they can make contact with our group. They are making contact right now. There can be direct contact, but many conflicts have to be cleared up first. Our group will have to work on blending and purifying our energies for more direct communication. You are in a good physical location because it is not heavily populated. The less populated, the fewer the conflicting energies. If your group would work more on blending energies, there would be a greater possibility for more direct contact. Cleansing your thoughts and energies is very important. Also, the energies have to be blended and raised with higher thought forms and levels of love. Everything is energy. How this energy is utilized makes the difference. Ram, can you see what happens to the Earth in the future through the box? I can see a 20-year span. There is a friction or shifting in the raising of the consciousness of the Earth. I can see the Earth a little bit out of shape. There is a pulling from the sister planets. Other planets have gotten off balance too. It's like a chain reaction.